Just a quick look of our worm bin. This is a 10-gallon tote. I'm going to just remove some of these bedding here. So the way I have this set up, I'll be doing more videos on our worms, how to do your own worm bin and how to harvest the castings. But I just want to show you guys real quick. So on the left side here is where I feed the worms, where I would usually put once every 2 weeks finely chopped vegetables and fruit scraps. And on the right side is where I harvest the castings. So most of the worms actually don't hang out in this area since there's no food. So once in a while you'll see some worms, but all these, or most of these, are ready. They're ready for harvest. But anyways, let me show you real quick so I can just dig a little deeper here. You might see some worms. Here we go. There's a lot of babies. I'm gonna go ahead and put the worms that we got from our compost bin in here. We'll just add them in there. Back to their family. So these are the worms I got out of the compost bin. Look at that. That's a whole bunch of them, isn't it? So I'm going to be starting a second worm bin, and we'll be doing more videos on that, and then we'll show you how to do it. Hello everyone, Misilla here from Learn to Grow. I hope that you're enjoying your day. I sure am. Finally, we have no rain for a change. It's been raining for the past, I think, almost 2.5 weeks, and our corn stalks fell over, as well as the mammoth sunflowers, so I had to clean it up last week, or this past week. But anyway, it's nice to be out here in the garden, and I can just enjoy the peaceful scenery and atmosphere. Anyways, what we're going to talk about today is how to plant the biggest and robust garlic bulbs. So first of all, there's some things that you should know before you plant them into the ground. So one important thing is planting them in the fall, and the reason why you do this is because the garlic needs the cold treatment to do well, and also the cold treatment will help the garlic divide into sections to get these cloves around the initial clove that you'll be planting. So that's why it's important to plant them in the fall so they get this cold treatment. Now another important thing is you'll want to plant the biggest cloves of your bulb. So when you're selecting your cloves, let me open this up for you real quick here. Just a second. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so I've got a couple cloves here, and generally the ones in the center are, oops, dropped it, are smaller. So you want to pick out the bigger cloves. That way, the bigger garlic cloves will grow around this particular clove. You'll get a pretty much similar size to the initial clove that you start with. You want to leave these papery skin. You don't want to peel those off. That's gonna, okay, you don't peel that off. So when you're planting your garlic, make sure that the tip here side is up, and this is the bottom, and that faces down into the ground. And you'll want to plant them between 2 to 4 inches, depending if you're mulching or not. If you plan on mulching, you can plant them 2 inches deep into the ground, or 4 inches if you don't plan on mulching. I'm gonna go ahead and mulch just because it will protect my garlic from freezing during the cold months. So that way they won't freeze and they'll do okay. So when you're planting your garlic in the fall, it will root itself without sprouting. And you'll want to plant your garlic at least 2 weeks before the first day of frost. And ours here, I'm in Zone 8, Pacific Northwest. Our first day of frost is between November 2nd and November 17th. And I think today is October 12th, so I'm getting really close. So you want to get your garlic in the ground within 2 weeks before frost. Have a little helper here. Hi, Nikki. So also you want to select the location for your garlic where it will receive at least 6 to 8 hours of sunlight. They need a lot of sun in order for them to do well. You want to have loamy soil or loose soil, and also good drainage. So you want to make sure you have plenty of organic matter in there, your fertilizer. Excuse me. Now I did put some chicken manure in this box here a couple months back, so I'm not going to put any more of that because chicken manure is usually a strong fertilizer. And I'm going to put some of my worm castings that I got from my worm bin. See, I got some here. See how rich and dark this is? It's going to be healthy. Now there are 2 types of garlic. One is a hard-necked or hard stem, and a soft neck or soft stem. Now generally I've read that the hard neck do better in cooler climates and the soft neck do well in warmer climates, but you know what, I've grown both of them here and I'm in a cooler zone, so I think they did okay. As you can see, Now, a lot of the hardnecks will produce an escape, you know, the little flower. And what you want to do with that is when you see, you can cut that off. That way, all the energy will concentrate on growing the bulb itself. And you can eat that escape. You can put it in your stir fry. It's really good. And also, one thing about the soft neck or soft stem garlic is these ones do better. They last longer for storage. I store these to preserve them longer somewhere cool and dark place, also but with well ventilation. And you can store the soft neck garlic up to I think 7 to 9 months. The hard neck generally between I think 5 to 6 months. And also the flavor of the soft neck garlics are more pungent and I think more intense. So I like the soft neck better, but the hard necks are pretty good too. One thing about the hard neck garlic is even though they produce the smaller bulbs comparing to the soft neck here, is that the bulbs or the cloves are generally larger. So fewer cloves but bigger, and it's between 5 to 7 cloves per garlic that surrounds this hard stem. Now the soft neck will produce more cloves and it's bigger around, but they're generally smaller than the hard neck. So just a couple of things. And one thing here I was going to show you, the elephant garlic. It's not really, I mean, it is a garlic, but it's all coming apart. Yeah, these are all. Anyways, the elephant garlic, it's part of the allium family, but it doesn't have that same pungent smell, and it's not really tasty, so it's probably better to use it for part of your meal like stir fry or soups, but really not for flavoring. I want to show you how big this clove is. So look how big this one is. So if I plant this elephant garlic, it should produce me similar size cloves. So since this clove is pretty big, now again, I'm not crazy about these. They're not really flavorful. So we're gonna go ahead and plant them, and we'll show you how we do this. Now another important thing is you want to make sure when you're selecting the cloves to plant that they're not moldy, and also that they're not dried out, because if they're dried out, they're not going to grow. So just make sure that you get rid of the moldy ones and not plant those. And if they're dry, don't even plant them. Again, you want to make sure that your soil is loamy or loose. That way the garlic can root itself freely. And also you want to make sure that your soil is at least 8 inches deep. That way the garlic will have enough room to root itself, and also it will take at least up to 6 inches of the soil as it roots itself and as it grows. You want to space them out at least 6 inches apart. Now you can space them out closer, but the closer you space them out, you're gonna get smaller cloves or smaller garlic, although you will have more garlic, by volume, because you're planting more cloves closer together. But then again, you'll have smaller cloves. So if you want to get the bigger and robust garlic, you want to space them out at least 6 to 8 inches apart. And if you want to do them in rows, you want to space them out at least 10 inches apart in rows. You can dig a hole, or you can just simply get a stick or some kind of maybe mallet or something and just poke a hole in there, and you can just drop the clove in there. Now before I put the clove in there, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of this worm castings. Look how dark this is. Well, there's a couple eggshells in there, but it should provide some nutrients for my garlic there. And the hole's it looks like about 3 inches deep, which is fine. I'm going to go ahead and drop my clove in there. Remember the tip side up, and just bury it back with your soil. So that's pretty much it. So remember, space them out at least 6 to 8 inches apart for bigger garlic bulbs. And if you're doing them in rows, space out the rows at least 10 inches apart. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mulch it over. You want to put some mulching, at least about 2 inches. I'm using dried leaves. You can use grass clippings. So these are not that dry yet. So that's what I'm just pretty much doing. I'm going to plant the rest of the garlic and then mulch over with the leaves to keep it from the freezing temperatures in the upcoming months. He's helping me, so he's spraying the leaves. Good job, bud. Now also you can use grass clippings, hay, straw hay. You can use whatever mulch you usually use. Now another reason for mulching is to keep weeds from growing, especially during springtime when everything starts to sprout. You want to keep the weeds away from your garlic. That way it doesn't take the energy from growing the bulb. So that's it for today. I hope that you guys found this helpful. If you have any questions or comments for me, please leave them at the comment section below. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video today, and hopefully you'll plant some garlic. And you gotta do it soon, because I think we only have about 2 to 4 weeks depending on where you live. So remember, plant them within 2 weeks of the first day of frost. Mulch if you need to. If you're not in a colder climate like we are, you can just leave them as is. Just make sure you plant them at least 4 inches deep into the soil. In springtime, you'll see them sprouting around March and April, and it's going to be exciting. Looking forward to the fun summer harvest. Thank you for tuning in, everyone, and have a wonderful day. Happy gardening. Bye-bye.